Good morning, campers. It's Tuesday morning. I have a new skill for you today, a new nonfiction skill. So we're going to be talking today about the text structure, compare and contrast. So here it is. I'm sure you remember this when we use our Venn diagrams. So compare and contrast is when an author wants you to compare two separate things. We use this a lot when we were studying nonfiction, when we did our extreme weather reports. We used compare and contrast, and a lot when we were studying nonfiction. So we're going to take a look at what this looks like. All right, so I have for you today my chart. So here's our compare and contrast chart. Let's take a look here. I was doing a compare and contrast on something really simple. Now we've done this with a lot of different things, but I'm going to just remind you of compare and contrast using something simple like apples and oranges. So I have my Venn diagram here that shows you the two different fruits. All right, so on this side I have apples, and on this side I have oranges. So if I'm going to compare and contrast, remember that talks about comparing means saying how they're the same or similar, or what things they have that are alike. And contrasting is when we talk about how they're different or what things are not similar about them. So let's take a look at apples and oranges. So if I'm talking about apples, I can say that apples are red, apples have a stem, and apples have a smooth skin. On the other side, I can say oranges, in the oranges circle, are orange, they have no stem, and that they have a rough skin. But if I look in the middle, this is the qualities that they both have that are the same. They're both fruits, they both grow on trees, and they're both juicy. So those are the things that they have similar. So let's look at some key words if we're looking at this type of a text. If you want to know, is this a text, a compare and contrast text? Here's some words that might give you some clues. It could be something like alike. You might see the word similar, same, related, both, mutually, that means a lot similar to the same, different, unlike, contrast, however, and while. So remember those texts that are comparing two things will have many of these words. Let's take an example. Okay, so here's my example text that I have for you about apples and oranges. Okay, there are many different types of fruit. Apples and oranges are two of the most common fruits that people eat. Both, so here's that word in blue. This is going to tell you the similarities because it says both. Both of these fruits grow on trees. They are similar, the same, because they are juicy. Apples, however, have smooth, shiny skin, and oranges have rough, bumpy skin. So when you use that word, however, you're talking now about differences. One obvious difference is that apples can be red, green, or yellow, and oranges are orange. So if you were to look at this text, you would automatically know that it's a compare and contrast because it's talking about two different objects, two different things, and it's telling you how they're the same and how they're different. So when you're reading your nonfiction books and you're looking for a text structure, it might just be a compare and contrast if it's talking about two different things. Think about that. All right, before I leave you today, I also want to do a quick shout out. If you can see behind me, I want to do a quick shout out to some kids who have been doing an excellent job on their ELA IXL skills. Chris, Owen, Liam, and Madeline have done all of the IXL skills that I have assigned, every one of them. Some of you haven't hopped on at all, and some of you have hopped on and done a few skills here and there. But I want to give a great shout out to those 4 who have done every single one. Excellent job. I hope to see more of you on there. All right, guys, talk to you tomorrow.